who was there when I was told this? I wasn't. Hi and welcome to Flaa Talk. I'm Kjersti Flaa, and here on my channel I talk about crazy things happening in Hollywood and my good and bad experiences with celebrities. And lately, of course, I've been talking a lot about Blake Lively and Baldoni and all the lawsuits that's going on. And of course, I have my opinions about it because I am kind of in the middle of this. So a lot of you know already why I'm so invested in this mess and that I was mentioned in the New York Times article as being part of the orchestrated smear campaign against Blake Lively. So yesterday, Baldoni filed a lawsuit with 9 other people against the New York Times, basically saying that their reporting was very biased and it's based on altered text messages and things that are taken out of context. And I read all 87 pages and I have my opinions about that. But first I wanted to make a few things clear. I've talked about this before on my channel that I used to be a teacher, and one of the things that to me was important to teach my pupils was critical thinking. And I think it's so important to mention that now because so many people are jumping on different trains without knowing the facts. And sometimes that's easy to do, to just be a follower and follow the herd. But I beg you, try and look at both sides of what's happening right now because it's very important. And don't make up your mind about this team or that team. Read the lawsuits and then you can make up your mind. I think there's definitely going to be more lawsuits from Baldoni because he just sued the New York Times. He didn't sue Blake Lively, which I think we will see very soon that he will do. Yesterday, Blake Lively also filed the lawsuit against Baldoni officially in federal court. The other one that she did just before Christmas was just a complaint, and now it is I think it's a little bigger than the one that we saw before the Christmas, but now it's an official lawsuit. Anyways, put that aside, I wanted to mention something because there's been a lot of talk about always supporting women and supporting women who come forward, which I'm all for. But I just wanted to throw some facts out there. So if you are blindly supporting some people, maybe you should think about it before you, for example, attack me, saying that I don't support women. So the movie that I interviewed Blake Lively for was a Woody Allen movie. And as you know, he was accused of abusing his stepdaughter, Dylan Farrow. It was very public. There was a documentary about it. Her brother, Ronan Farrow, who also did a lot of the reporting on Harvey Weinstein, was supporting his sister. Woody Allen went on to marry his other stepdaughter. My point here is, everyone knew these accusations against Woody Allen, and a lot of people took a step back and, refused to work with him. Blake Lively didn't. So to me, that either proves that she didn't believe Dylan Farrow when she said she was abused by her father, or she did believe it, but she didn't care and she still wanted to work with Woody Allen. I just wanted to put that out there because I think it's important to not paint someone as a saint and say that, oh, women support women. Blake Lively didn't support another woman who came forward. Just to say that. Another thing is that Blake Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan, started her own company in 2014, so 2 years before I did my interview. And she left her old company and started a new one, and guess who financially backed her company? Harvey Weinstein. As you can see from this Hollywood Reporter article, it was very official that she got money to start her own company from Harvey Weinstein. When Blake Lively was promoting the movie Cafe Society, she did an interview in Vanity Fair where she called Woody Allen very empowering. So my point is that, there is no the good guys or the bad guys here. The way I see it, there's a lot of bad guys. So not all women believe all women. That was my point. Or maybe you do, but you don't care. I also wanted to debunk some Twitter facts, especially one rumor that's been going on that I keep hearing it everywhere in the comment section and people are sending me messages about this. So I just wanted to clear it up once for all. So when someone comments on something, I can just send them this link to this video so they will know the truth. Okay, so some people are spreading rumors that I was told not to mention Blake Lively's pregnancy before the interview. I have no idea where this information is coming from. And I don't think the people spreading it knows either, because no one asks for any evidence or facts. They're just like, oh, we will take that narrative because then we can excuse Blake Lively's behavior for these journalists. And that's why she was being rude to her, because she was told these things beforehand. So my question is, who was there when I was told this? I wasn't, and no one else that did that junket was told not to mention her pregnancy. So these are just things that people sit and make up. And then some people believe it because they really want to believe it. And that's what I'm talking about with critical thinking here. Imagine if I was told not to mention someone's pregnancy or anything else in an interview. Why would I do that? First thing as I enter that room, that would be career suicide for me. Would you ever think about that? That, I've been doing these kind of interviews for 18 years. At that point, I'd been doing them for shorter period of time, 12 years maybe. But if I was told not to do something, why would I do that? And just to congratulate her, I would risk, losing that interview and, losing my job maybe for just congratulating her. Does that make any sense to you? Secondly, Blake Lively had been very public about her pregnancy already. She had been on talk shows talking about it, talking about how it was being pregnant the second time, it was different from the first time, how her body has changed, all these things that, she had already talked about. So for her to snap at me like that for congratulating her, there's no reasoning behind it. So she didn't have a reason to be rude to me throughout the entire interview because I said that. If I would have just congratulated her without having the permission to do so, they would have taken the interview away from me. I would never have received the interview at the end of the day because they keep those little tapes and then they give them to you at the end of the day when you've done all your interviews. And I've seen many times that journalists don't get their tape with them when the publicist or someone else isn't happy with the interview. That happened to me on my second interview with Blake Lively. The guy before me, they took his tape away. So that happens. And if I had done something like that, they probably would have taken my tape away. What does seem to me odd is that they actually let my interview slide, that they did give it to me. And that says to me that they thought that kind of behavior was normal. Why didn't a publicist or anyone say, oh, you're not going to get that interview? Because they could do that, but they gave it to me. So for them, that was just normal Blake Lively behavior. Anyways, I just had to make that point straight so you understand how ridiculous it is to make up this story. And also, if you think about it, where does this information come from? 8 years ago? So this is the problem with social media. People just buy into all these lies because it fits their narrative. Now they want Blake Lively to be the victim. And when my interview shows a bad side of her, people need to make excuses for it. To be like, oh, but it wasn't her fault. It was the journalist. Oh my gosh, it's so dumb. Okay, so now Justin Baldoni has filed a lawsuit against the New York Times, a $250 million lawsuit with 9 other people, amongst them the 2 publicists that were mentioned in the story and his producer and some other people. I don't know who they are, but it's a major lawsuit. I think you need to read it yourself. I'm not going to go through every point of this lawsuit. But from my point of view, when I saw what the New York Times did to me by alleging that I had something to do with the smear campaign because they found a hashtag on one of my interviews with Johnny Depp from 2022, and that was the evidence of that I had been working with his team because Johnny Depp hired the same crisis management team. So that was their evidence of that. And if the rest of that article is based on this kind of reporting and these kind of sources, that they didn't even ask me for a comment. They didn't contact me. And I saw in Justin Baldoni's lawsuit that New York Times contacted them around 9 or 10 o'clock at night on the Friday before Christmas. There's so many holes here in the story, and it's so biased. I'm not saying that I believe this part over this at this point, but I know how the New York Times operates now. There were things that she had said, and when he clears it up now, showing the context of certain text messages and things like that, it doesn't add up to me, the things that she's accusing him of. One of the things that she mentioned is that he was walking into her trailer when she was like half naked or breastfeeding. And he is showing evidence of text messages that he was texting with Blake Lively. She invited him into his trailer while she was pumping. She said, come to my trailer. I'm pumping at the moment. And he said, I'm having lunch with the crew. I'll come over later. And the way she explained it was that he had walked into her trailer without permission and watched her breastfeed and kind of refused to leave. He also said in his lawsuit that she was very open about breastfeeding on sets and in front of other crew members, so that never seemed like an issue. And the thing is, what I see now is that all of these things that she is accusing him of happened during a time where there was no beef between them. There's a lot of text messages to show that they were very friendly towards each other. And the things that I see when he's writing in, he's very respectful of her opinions and asking her opinions about things. She says in text messages that she wanted some of the wardrobe to be more sexy. It's also clear that there was an intimacy coordinator that she was offered, and she refused to speak to that intimacy coordinator, and that coordinator was on set before they even started shooting. So Justin Baldoni took his own meeting with the coordinator. Also, one of the things she mentioned in her lawsuits is that there were like 30 points of things that he shouldn't do. And there's like this no-do list that everyone was pretty shocked when they read. And he'd never seen that list before. He claims that the first time he saw that list was in the New York Times article. There must be some evidence of that. If there was such a list, that it must have been emailed. There must be some documents to prove that there was actually this list. I don't know. And we also now know that Justin Baldoni hadn't even seen the final cut of the movie at the premiere, and he wasn't invited to the premiere. She didn't want him to come to the premiere even. And so when he saw the movie, he did go. As you know, they didn't walk the red carpet together, and he watched it in the theater, but he had never seen the final cut of the movie. And he's the director, he owns the right. And of course, he's one of the main characters. The truth is what matters. And the truth will come out, I believe. And in the meantime, I'm going to be here talking about it because that's what I believe in. I don't believe in any sides there. I believe in the truth. Anyways, I just wanted to put that out there and to encourage people to read also his side of things before you judge him. And yeah, don't believe things that you read online. Fact check, be a grown-up and do your research. And then you can have your opinion about whatever. But you should know all the facts. I've been sent a lot of videos where people are trashing me online, which is like, okay, I'm not going to do that to anyone. I mean, it's so dumb to me that if you're going to trash me, it doesn't make Blake Lively a better person if that's what you're trying to do here. What you're doing is just smearing people and hating on people and creating more bullying online. And that's not good. I don't want to believe in trashing anyone or bullying anyone. And I just hope that people can be nicer to each other. That's basically it. Anyways, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and hit that notification button. And Happy New Year again, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.